welcome back to OverReactions. So, tonight there's a bit of a tragedy on Monday Night Football, and kind of a first, and a very unfortunate first with Damar Hamlin. And now I did not watch it live. I only found out it through friends who texted me, like, "Oh, you see this?" And so that just started the whole spiral of following tweets and whatnot, YouTube, and trying to find information and trying to piece it together. Now we all have our own, cognitive bias and our own prejudices. We all tend to be victims of our own frames of reference. And so we tend to start gravitating towards our predilections as far as that's concerned. Now, the reason why I have this video pulled up here and why I did that YouTube short earlier was this is one of the first videos that popped up in my YouTube feed. And this was like right off the bat. I was just looking for actual game footage. And this popped up. And I was like, oh, this dude's already doing like a reaction on this. And I've seen a few of his videos. I don't follow him per se. The stuff I've seen previously is like, oh, this guy apparently knows what he's talking about. I'm a big fan of orthopedics and whatnot. And so, because I've received a lot of help from my injuries. So I watched this video, and right off the bat, I was kind of really struck by the timing of the video, the quality of the video, and the messaging. Now I'm just going to be streaming this, so forgive me for the playback quality. Let's see if I can get this running here. But no, he's sitting in the studio. He's got the video pulled up and everything, ready to go, man. Impressive. Come on, buffer. So annoying.
What we just witnessed tonight is one of the most rare things we can see. In sports medicine, as Damar Hamlin went down with what appeared to be cardiac arrest after taking this hit on the field. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and on this channel, I try to teach you about this.
So right off the bat, the whole situation, the scenario. He presents it cleanly, and goes straight into his introduction, stating who he is, what he's talking about, and why he's able to talk about it. I'm a doctor. This is why you should listen to me. All right, why should we listen to you? What do you have to say there, doc? Oh, man, that's a great still shot.
The sports medicine world and give you some insight into what we see on the field. What we saw happen tonight is not related to any sort of vaccines. This is almost...
That's the first thing you say? Yeah, that's what jumped out at me, dude. Like, you look at the analytics on a video, if you're a content creator, if you are just like an aware or an astute viewer that follows a bunch of stuff, you understand there's analytics involved. People know that they're able to track like the click rates and the view throughs and all that stuff, how long people watch for, what's the window of time to get your most important messaging out. So he addresses the situation, says, hey, this is what I'm here, this is what happened, this is what's going on, this is why you should listen to me, and message. Because people might just stop listening, right?
Witness tonight is one of the most rare things we can see in sports medicine, as Damar Hamlin went down with what appeared to be cardiac arrest after taking this hit on the field. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and on this channel, I try to teach you about the sports medicine world and give you some insight into what we see on the field. What we saw happen tonight is not related to any sort of vaccines.
19
this is
seconds.
Almost certainly something called commotio cordis, an extremely rare condition that's one of those things that we typically only think we're going to read about in textbooks. Essentially, what happens is if you have a blunt trauma to the chest that occurs at exactly the right time in the cardiac electrical cycle, your heart can be sent into...
Explain to me, that's all true.
This
is all true.
In here, we can see this square hit to the front of his chest. We see him get back up momentarily before ultimately collapsing back down to the ground and requiring CPR on the field. This is a tracing of our heart's electrical activity. Basically, this is one cycle.
And he goes straight into this slide, this prepared slide. Now, first of all, he didn't play the full tape. He didn't show him actually collapsing, which is interesting. There's a lot of video of athletes collapsing from the past recent months. But it doesn't actually show the collapse. It shows the hit and him getting back up, but it does not show the collapse. Not sure why this slide was more important than watching him actually go down. But he goes straight in saying, hey, it's not this, it's this. And I'm getting to a point here. Now, just to show you how like quickly thrown together this evidently was, and how quick he was with his slides. If you look at the bottom right here to see where my arrow is at, right here. If you look below the timeline, you see his arm there with his sleeve rolled up, that purple band. That's Coflex on a piece of gauze on his wrist or whatnot. I'm not certain what's going on there. Maybe he had a procedure. Maybe he was doing some blood work, but his sleeve is rolled up and he's got Coflex on there. So he was not like he got into his, I mean, he's got crown molding and stuff. Looks like it's his home office or some studio. So he got in there and he got these slides together and the video together so fast. Now, whenever I first saw this was within the first hour that this happened. Like the ambulance was still in the tunnel with them working on him and they're still trying to get DeMar's mom to the ambulance. They're still working him. And he was already throwing up this video to get out the message of what? This is not, it is most likely this. And he's given us all this information about what he wants us to think this is. Why the rush to be first, bro? This is propaganda. Propaganda. The advertisement that was below the video, whenever I saw this, was for a local pharmacy, by the way. But they were still working him. That means a doctor most likely had not even assessed him firsthand. This was all first responder, team trainers, EMTIs, whatever, EMTBs, EMTPs, hopefully at least P's in a professional event, right? But like, maybe there's a team doctor there. I guess maybe a doctor. But he wasn't on the bat phone with them. Hopefully not. And he's already saying what it's not. Why the rush, dude? I mean, this is a great presentation on this.
Of the heart squeezing.
Starts
off with this P wave, which is the electrical activity of the atrium at the top of the heart squeezing, then the QRS complex, which is going to be the ventricles acting, but then the last phase is this T wave, where the ventricle basically depolarizes and kind of resets to get.
This is equivalent of an unaffiliated flight engineer, rocket scientist that's not even in NASA, while the smoke is still clearing after the Challenger blew up, jumping on here to make a video saying, it wasn't that O-ring. Yeah, not the O-ring. Like, he is totally removed from the situation. Just like every other doctor you know who's guessing like everybody else. He's just guessing with more experience and knowledge recall than you maybe have. In the first 19 seconds, he said exactly the entire purpose of this video. He stated the entire purpose of his video. It is not... Can't get that integrity back, dude. You can't get that. You can never get your integrity back. It's disgusting. You think I'm going to watch this guy about anything else?
Ready for the next cycle. For commotio cordis to happen, you have to suffer this blunt trauma to the chest at exactly the right moment, specifically on this upstroke of the T wave, in order for the heart to then be sent into this arrhythmia.
Tell me, I must believe that the stars must magically align for this to hit, and that's what you just saw.
Force, but it has to happen within milliseconds of a time window, because if that impact comes
at any other time, he must have had like a procedure done.
You're fine. You don't go into this.
Stitches,
but
maybe.
When it happens at just this right time during this upstroke of the T wave, and if it's high enough, then you can have this thing called commotio cordis. We typically think of it happening in baseball players whenever they get hit in the middle of the chest with a hard
like little kids getting hit with a wild pitch.
Unfortunately, that looks like what is most likely to have happened here with Hamlin. Treatment like
it does look like that. It does look like that, and it could entirely be that. I'm not saying it's not commotio whatever. Like, I'm not saying it's not that. It could. I'm owning the fact that I don't know. What set me off earlier, and why I'm doing this video now, is the last thing that anybody needs to hear right now, especially for the past almost 3 years of all the crap that we've been fed. We do not need to hear another doctor giving us a program message absent facts, and he has no facts on what's going on with that dude that's fighting for his life. Brian, you're disgusting, dude. You are disgusting. I'm pretty certain you put your license in jeopardy. But fortunately for you, your whole industry is a crock of snakes. So you're probably safe from that. I don't know, my industry, I can't do that. Yeah, this is definitely going on overreactions. But technically, this is an underreaction because that's reprehensible what this dude just did. Total disservice. And if you were believing people at face value just because they have an abbreviation after their name, you're a schmuck.